Oh, happy Super Bowl Monday. It's the hangover of all Mondays. While Devin Walker gets himself situated, I'm Meghan Triplett. It's time for another edition of 3 Point Stands presented by Mountain Dew. And let's go ahead and address it. I know everybody wanted to hear from John Roser after the Super Bowl game. Was 49ers didn't win last night, and he is mourning right now. So we brought in Devin Walker to talk about the Super Bowl Sunday. It was epic. Did you enjoy it,
Yeah,
Devin?
it was great. But first, before anything, first things first, we got to pour one out for my guy Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Pour one out for his 49ers gear because he's been rocking it all season. The
Oh,
hoodies, the
I know.
jerseys, the sweatshirts. He was on cloud nine for about 3.5 quarters, and then Patrick Mahomes happened. So pouring out for my guy Rose. Pour Mountain Dew out for my guy Rose. Right here on 3 Point Stands.
All right, so you already brought up the game. Let's first talk about the game. We're gonna break this whole entire night into three different categories: the game, halftime, and commercials. And let's start with the game itself. What was your favorite part about the actual football game?
I think it was a pretty good Super Bowl. Like you had a couple big plays. You had kind of teams like going back and forth. It wasn't like a lull like last season with the Rams and the Patriots. I feel like the entire game was boring. There were no big plays. There were no trick plays. No reverses. Just plain straight up football. And it dragged on and on and on. You were waiting for the end to be there. But last night I feel like there were two teams like you said like filling each other out in the first quarter, kind of taking their shot when they could in the second, third quarter. Then of course, if you write a storybook for the Super Bowl, you want a nice ending. And what a better ending than having Patrick Mahomes, who's one of the faces of the NFL, make a comeback in the fourth quarter on the biggest stage in the Super Bowl. So what else
Yeah,
could you say about that?
I know this game was great. If you can't compare, anything was better than last year. Everything was better than last year. And
Disaster.
yeah, there were moments of the game where you thought like, oh, 49ers have it. Oh no, Chiefs have it. And I think after that interception, and I think it was at the third quarter, everyone was like, oh, 49ers got this one. But then you had that huge third down that they were able to convert on and eventually score. And then it just looks like, oh my goodness, are the Chiefs going to come back? 49ers, they scored 17 straight. The Chiefs, I picked the Chiefs. I hated doing that to Roser, and I almost gave up on them. And I was like, oh no. The fourth quarter, I was like, they're going to lose this. 49ers had the momentum. But then Patrick Mahomes doing Patrick Mahomes things. And the 49ers, you just saw them kind of like crash and crumble. But that game was good from start to finish. That was like the first game since last year where it's like you couldn't stop watching. If you stopped
Yeah.
watching, then the whole game changed.
Yeah, the whole game changed, and I'm convinced Patrick Mahomes throughout the playoffs, he's one of those guys where he says, "All right, guys, can I'm going to play around. You can get up 10, then I'm gonna actually start playing." Like I'm convinced that Patrick Mahomes does not start playing football, and he looks up at the scoreboard and says, "Oh, we're down double digits. Okay, it's time to come back now." Like when the 49ers went up 10, I was like, "Oh, yeah, this game isn't over." Patrick Mahomes is on the other side. We saw him do it against the Texans. We saw him do it against the Titans. Like we've seen him do it every single week. So when the 49ers went up, I was like, yeah, there's a people I was in the room with. They're like, oh, the game's over. I was like, number 15 on the other side. The ketchup macaroni eating light skinned brother on the other side. He's still there. So until the end, like I said, Patrick Mahomes did a great job. On another note, for me, I'm a big branding guy. So
Yes, you
one of
are.
the biggest moments of the game was the reviewing on the touchdown, Damian Williams touchdown. The spotlight, the entire 15-30 minutes of that spotlight, it was on the Jordan brand.
Yeah.
Like everybody across the world that didn't know Jordan brand made cleats, they were like, "Oh, Jordan's just they just make basketball shoes."
Mhm.
In that moment, my grandma, my mama, my auntie, everybody found out Jordan brand makes cleats. So it was a big branding night for the Jordan brand as well.
It was great timing of it all. And then like even during the national anthem, I'm not sure if you saw it. I think it was Tyron Matthew. He had the Jordan gloves as well. And like as his hand was, across his chest, you like they zoomed in on it. And I was like, oh, like, and I thought the same thing, like Jordan. And then later, especially on that review, you saw the Jordan cleats, and Twitter even lit up. It was like, Jordan makes cleats. Oh my gosh. All I keep focusing on is the Jordan cleat. Forget, did he break the plank or not? Was his foot out of bounds? Did the football break the plank? Who cares about that? Everyone was talking about the
Yeah.
cleats.
Yeah, shout out to the cleats. Shout out to Jordan Brand because that's easy. That's one of those things I'm pretty sure you know in the marketing world. Free pub as they call it, and nothing beats free pub, especially in the Super Bowl on the biggest stage across America, anywhere. The Super Bowl is one of the biggest events ever and to have your brand get free publication without even a commercial in the game, that's huge. That's huge.
Right. And you know what else is a big stage? Not just the actual football game, but the halftime show. That's the big stage. That's why everyone perform at halftime. And we saw J-Lo and Shakira. I was on Twitter and it was absolutely hilarious to see men say, "I'm getting in trouble." We did see Giannis even did like, "Oh my gosh, I'm about to get in trouble watching this halftime." I thought the same thing. I watched it with my dad and my brother, and my brother-in-law, and I was like, "This is like, oh." And it was so weird because Super Bowl is usually so PG. You know, after the whole Janet Jackson thing, they can't do a lot. This one was totally different, and some people are even saying that it was the best halftime Super Bowl performance.
Let's not go that far because I know people like to jump off. They that Monday afters people always say this is the best thing since. This is the best thing since. But I won't go that far on that list. But I will say for the first time in a while, because I don't think since the Beyonce performance, I haven't been that locked in during a halftime performance.
Of course, you were locked in.
And I will say this because my girlfriend was next to me while it was happening, right? And the entire time she's like looking at me like, "Are you enjoying this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm enjoying this. This is fantastic." It checked all the boxes, right? You had a great performance. They performed all the hits. You had J-Lo's daughter come out and perform next to her. So what?
They didn't bring Ja Rule out. I was.
They did not bring Ja Rule out. I was waiting for the Ja Rule. Then the third box they checked, you created a viral moment. Shakira created a viral moment with her. The second she did that, I was like, "Oh man, that's gonna be a meme. That will be a meme in my desktop file after this game." So it checked all the boxes. It was a great performance. Shout out to J-Lo. Shout out to Shakira. 20 years later, the hips do not lie. The hips still don't lie, Meghan. They still do not lie, and they put on a great performance, and I love it.
I tweeted this, and not only did they, represent their culture and the Latino women, I love that, staying that up there, but Shakira is 43. She turned 43 on Sunday as well. J-Lo is 50 years old. Like, I just have so much respect for them because they can do so many things that I can't even think about doing. I can barely touch my toes. Just mad props. I thought it was a great performance. I'm not gonna go with the best, but it was really, really good. And for it to be Miami, it just really fit. Super Bowl, they got it right this time. They got it right. They fit the whole culture of Miami, and they did a great job. It was a full-on performance. It entertained. It checked, as you said, checked all the boxes. It was great. It was uncomfortable at times with certain scenes. I was like, "Ooh, that shot. What's going on?"
How dare you? No uncomfortable moments in that performance. It was from the pole performance to the twerk to the Bad Bunny coming out. It was just from beginning to end. It was fantastic. I was like, when they came out, I was like, so there was a prop bet that was are they going to twerk? So at the beginning, I was like, I don't know if they're going to twerk. This is for kids. I don't know if they're going to twerk on the stage. But by the end, it was a lot of twerking going on, and I was excited. Shout out to Shakira.
Well, there wasn't just a lot of twerking going on in the Super Bowl. There were a lot of commercials. It's always a big thing. As you saw, 30 seconds gets you, I think it costs $5 million. Wow. So as our last topic, tell me, what was your best commercials, if you have some, from last night?
So I'm not a big commercial guy. I'm one of those guys where when commercials to come on, I'll start looking at my phone to start checking Twitter, checking to see what's going on. But last night during the Super Bowl, I know it's such a big deal, so I tried to kind of pay attention. But to be honest, Meghan, when commercials started rolling through, I was picking up my phone. Except for two. I'll give you two that I do remember. The two memorable commercials I saw last night. One, I'm sorry, I know we talked about twerking, but I got to bring up the baby nut. So the planters decided to follow in the footsteps of the Baby Yoda thing and create their own baby version and created the baby nut. The baby nut was born last night during the Super Bowl, and it also sparked a lot of confusion on social media. Like, what in the world? Because I think a couple of weeks ago they said the nut died, right? He got ran over by a car or something, right?
He's been, I think it was 100 something years old, and he passed away. And so they kind of teased that to say, like, who's gonna, take over. And so it started with Mr. Peanut's funeral. Yeah, so it started with Mr. Peanut's funeral, ended with a baby nut being born. So that caught my eye. I was like, why is there a baby nut on my TV? But okay, yeah, I digress.
The second one was the Little Nas X commercial. I don't know what it was promoting, to be honest, but I love to see guys kind of take advantage of their
No, it was a
platform.
Doritos commercial. It was a
Yeah,
Doritos. Town
Doritos.
Road.
See, there you go. I had no idea. So it was good to see Little Nas X kind of keep rushing in the spotlight. We've seen them drop one of the biggest records ever with Old Town Road to use that from Old Town Road to the Grammys last week to being in the Super Bowl commercial, where I'm sure he got a big bag for. I love to see guys still like kind of relish in that spotlight and do what they have to do to kind of stay relevant. So shout out to Lil Nas X, repping for the young brothers out there.
Okay, so those weren't my favorite. I think a couple of my favorite was the first one was the Cheetos commercial with the "Can't Touch This." You had MC Hammer in it because I love Cheetos, and the biggest thing is like when you eat Cheetos, it gets on your hand, and you can't touch anything. And that's the best part is going finger by finger and getting all the Cheeto dust on it. So I love that commercial, and it wasn't a commercial, but how the football game started was so good with the little kid take it to the house, and you had so many different appearances, and then it ends when he runs all the way to Miami and Peyton's saying like, "You ready for this?" And I honestly wasn't expecting the kids to run out on the field, the same guy to bring out the game ball. I thought that was great marketing. That was just overall just really, really good. And I have to give a shout out to the Google commercial. It was touching. I have a Google right behind me. I talked about Google all
You
the
got
time.
your feelings?
Did, but it starts with the guy saying like, "Help me to remember it." Remember all these memories of my wife. And if I said, "Hey Google, help me to remember," it's just so I loved it. It touched me, moved my heart. My mom and dad talk to Google all the time, so Google really got it good. Like, I mean, Google first had the Black History Month commercial. Now this one, like, big ups to Google. I'll tell you the commercials I didn't like. I will say this. For one night only, could we just not watch a football game without having so many political camping commercials? They were everywhere. I said, "Oh my goodness, what is going on?" I just wanted to watch football and laugh, not do all that. It was like, you definitely know we're in a voting year. So yeah, that's that.
Happens. You talk about disappointing commercials. For me, I was expecting more from the LeBron Hummer commercial. People were talking about Hummer doing a rollout with LeBron, kind of bringing it back because back in high school he had the situation where he got in trouble for having a Hummer at the age of like 16 or 17. So they were going to roll it out with him last night, and it was kind of it was just a clip of LeBron dunking a basketball, then saying, "Hey, Hummer, blah blah blah." I was like, all right, that's all. That's all.
That's it. Well, hey, speaking of like people making promos, we now have the answer to why Tom Brady posted that picture. It was a commercial, and it was just a commercial just basically saying like, "I'm sticking around." So the whole time we thought it was Tom Brady tweeting a picture out saying that he's going to be leaving the Patriots. It was just a commercial. It was just a commercial. That was great. Well,
it was good stuff. Like,
it was.
Shout out to Hulu for that. It was a Hulu commercial, right?
It was a Hulu commercial. It was like talking about football. You can watch it on Hulu. You know what, Devin? This was good stuff. I really appreciate you filling in for a morning roser. You have your 2 Mountain Dew drinks to keep you company, just like roser. You're pouring one out for them without the top. The top is still on, but it's cool. We totally get the point.
If I pour it out, this computer might explode.
That is very true. But thank you for filling in, Devin. Like, I mean, you got to come back on the show again. How about that?
Hey, I'll come back. I'll come back soon. Hopefully we don't have any more morning roser moments, but hopefully I'll be back soon. Thanks for having me up here.
All right. Thanks for watching another edition of 3 Point Stance presented by Mountain Dew.